Have you ever found yourself completely lost in a conversation with a British friend because of a slang term you've never heard before? Trust me, you're not alone. Understanding the differences between British and American slang can be a real head scratcher. You know, this bow tie reminds me a little of English slang. Both look pretty simple, right? From the outside. But try to tie them together and suddenly you realized, well, there's a twist. British and American English are like two cousins who grew up in different neighborhoods. They share the same roots. But one orders chips and the other orders fries. And if you ask for a jumper in the UK, you'll get a cozy sweater. While in the US, a jumper usually means a dress worn over a shirt. Okay, now that this tie is neatly in place, let's untangle the colorful slang that divides and connects these two great versions of English. And hey, if you've got a question about British or American slang, drop it in the chat and I'll answer a few questions live at the end of the show, right after the Mastery Minute. And by the way, stick around until the end for that Mastery Minute for a fun word of the day that captures the playful language of this whole transatlantic adventure. All right, and let's jump right into it. Uh-oh, we are having some technical difficulties. I see the problem. Hold on just a minute. Okay, now let's try this again. So, let me tell you about Emma. She is from Texas, and she spent a semester studying in London. Wow. Well, one day, while she's at lunch, one of her classmates said, "Oh, I'm absolutely knackered." Well, Emma smiled and said, Oh, knackered? Like wearing cool sneakers?" And her British colleagues burst out laughing. Well, it turns out that knackered in the UK actually means exhausted, not stylish. Moments like that are funny, but they also show how easily we can get tripped up by slang. I mean, think of it. Emma is a native American English speaker, so two people can speak perfect English but sound like they're from different planets. So, if you've ever felt that confusion, or if you just love language, today we're diving deep into the slang showdown between British and American English. And if you're still finding this interesting, hit that like button, subscribe, and be sure to share this with other people who are trying to improve their English communication. Okay, let's hop across the pond. And before we dive in, let's ask the question, why does this even matter? Well, because understanding slang isn't just about vocabulary, it's about connection. And knowing the differences will help you catch jokes and avoid confusion and build rapport with native speakers on both sides of the Atlantic. And so what we're going to do is look at some everyday examples that sound the same but mean something completely different. And we'll start simple, and we'll get in with the food and snacks showdown. Let's start with chips versus fries. All right, in the UK, chips are like, well, they're like thick French fries or wedges. They're the kind that you eat with fish and vinegar. But in the US, chips are a crispy snack in a bag. So if you ask for chips in London, you might get something hot and greasy instead of a bag of Doritos, right? Just to avoid confusion, just remember, British chips equals American fries. British crisps equals American chips. Some people have a hard time saying crisps, but especially here in Korea, it's really funny. Now, let's look at biscuit versus cookie. Now, in the UK, a biscuit is a sweet treat, like a cookie that you dip in tea. Whereas in America, a biscuit is a soft, buttery bread that is often eaten with gravy. Oh, biscuits and gravy. I love it. So when a British friend offers you a biscuit, don't expect breakfast. Expect something more like dessert. All right? Okay, here's one for you drivers out there. In the UK, you put your luggage in the boot and you open the car's bonnet to check the engine. Whereas in the US, it's the trunk instead of the boot. And the bonnet would be called the hood. So if you ever hear someone say, I'll grab it from the boot, they're not talking about shoes like they would be in the US. And what are you grabbing from a boot? I don't know. All right. So, next one up is mate versus buddy. In Britain, mate is used all the time, and it refers to a friend in English. But in America, if you call someone mate, you might get a funny look, right? Unless, of course, you're a pirate. We don't normally say mate. Americans say buddy or pal, while the British say mate. The only time an American would say mate is if they're talking about the first officer on a ship. I used to be one, so all the people called me mate, but that was my title. It doesn't mean friend. All right? Now, have you ever heard someone refer to a bathroom or a restroom as the loo? Well, that's how they say it. And if you're a traveler, you're going to probably have to ask someone, where is the toilet or where's the bathroom? So if you're in the UK, ask, where's the loo? Or you could say, where's the toilet? In America, toilet feels a little too direct, right? The toilet is the actual device that you use. So people will often say restroom or bathroom. So it's the same destination, just different signs, right? So you might politely ask, where's the restroom, please? Or something like that if you're in America. Next up, let's look at some buildings and movement. Now in Britain, if you need to go up a floor, you take the lift. In America, you ride on the elevator. They both mean the same thing, but if you ask an American for a lift, they might think you're asking for a ride in their car. So, yeah, give me a lift in America is, take me somewhere in your car, please, right? In Britain, a flat is an apartment. It's what an Americans call an apartment, right? It's a dwelling. It's the same concept. It's a self-contained living space in a larger building, but you don't say you live in a flat in the U.S., and the only time people refer to a flat in the U.S. is usually their tire on their car. If it's all out of air, you got a flat. And the next one is very interesting. British people throw things in the rubbish bin. Whereas Americans toss things in the trash can or the garbage can. So if someone says your idea is rubbish, don't take it personally. It just means they think this is nonsense, right? That's very common in America. Rubbish is a nonsense idea. All right, let's talk about, we're going to wrap this up, a holiday versus a vacation. Now, this one is easy to mix up. In the UK, people go on holiday. It's their travel time. Whereas in the U.S., they go on vacation or they take a vacation. It's the same thing. It just means time off for special travel or something. But here's the twist. In America, holiday usually means national celebrations like Thanksgiving or Christmas, not travel. So if you hear someone from the UK saying, I'm going on holiday, it means they're going on vacation. Also, if you're shopping for shoes in London, ask for trainers. Whereas in the US, the same shoes are called sneakers. Both of those mean they're casual athletic shoes, but using the right word keeps you sounding more local, right? Okay. Now, a lot of people say, well, why are these so different? Why do these differences happen? Well, it's history and it's culture. When British colonists sailed to America, the language of English came with them. But as the centuries passed, each side added its own twist. The British kept some older words, like flat for apartment, while Americans created new ones, like sidewalk instead of pavement. That's what the British call it, by the way. And pop culture did the rest. Hollywood, TV, and music. It all spread American slang worldwide. While British TV and TikTok brought words like cheeky or brilliant or bloody back into style. So, all right, let's do a quick game. We're going to play a quick game. I will say a British word and you guess the American version. Are you ready? Okay. Holiday. If you guessed vacation, then you are correct to take time off of work. How about rubbish? Rubbish. Well, if you guessed trash or garbage, there you go. It means something that is thrown away. All right, how about trainers? Remember this one? Well, if you guessed sneakers for the American version, you're right. It's an athletic shoe or a pair of athletic shoes, right? All right, flat. What's a flat? In America, they call it, that's right, an apartment. An apartment. And that's a place to live. Finally, one we didn't cover, mobile. Mobile. What is a mobile? In America, we call that a cell phone. Do you have a cell phone? Can I get your mobile number? Okay. How many did you get right? Drop your score in the chat or in the comments, and I'd love to see it. Okay. I want to remind you, don't stress about getting every slang word right. All right? You don't need to sound British or American. You just need to be understood and connected. And the beauty of English is its variety. It's like my bow tie collection. I've got different colors, but they all serve the same purpose, to express yourself with style. All right. And I would love to hear what your favorite British or American slang word is. Or maybe one that completely confused you the first time you heard it. Well, if you've got one, drop it in the chat or in the comments, and if you do, I'll read a few live at the end of the show. And here's your challenge for this week. Watch a British TV show, like The Crown or Sherlock. I really like Sherlock. Or an American one, like Friends or Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And then write down 5 slang words that you hear. And then look up what they mean if you don't know already. And then what you'll do is you'll be learning vocabulary and culture at the same time. Pretty cool, right? Now, if you enjoyed today's Slang Showdown and you want to keep growing your English naturally, check out the full blog article. It's packed with extra examples and some cultural notes that you can't fit into a single episode. And you'll find the link in the description and in the chat. And also, if you're serious about mastering English for work, for travel, or confidence, join the Mastery course. It's my step-by-step system to help you sound clear and confident and natural in every situation, and in only 10 minutes a day. Okay, again, both links are waiting for you below in the description and in the chat. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend who loves languages. Whoa, and now it's time for the Mastery Minute. Okay, and what is the Mastery Minute for today? Well, this one is interesting. Did you know that one of the most famous British slang words actually started as a medieval phrase? Wow, that's a long time ago. Today's word is bloody. Have you heard people say that from England? It's one of the most iconic British slang intensifiers. What's an intensifier? That's like a word like very. And in Britain, it's used to add emotion or emphasis. Like, wow, that movie was bloody brilliant. Well, that just means it's really brilliant, right? Now, it sounds a bit rude to older generations, but the younger generations, they think it's pretty mild and friendly. So it's kind of like saying super in America, or that's so darn cool, right? It's super cool. It's so darn. But here's the fun bit. No one really knows where it came from. Some say it's short for by Our Lady, which was a medieval expression that then softened over time. Kind of like how God be with ye eventually became goodbye. Did you know that one? So next time you watch a British show and hear bloody, don't panic. They're just being enthusiastic. Use it lightly and you'll sound positively brilliant. And that is all the time we have for tonight. Tonight we talked about how British and American slang diverge and why it makes English so fun to learn. Next time, we're diving into how a few everyday words might be holding your English back, and what you can say instead to sound sharper and more precise. You don't want to miss this one. All right, that's all the time we have. My name is Dennis Wilborn, and this has been 15 Minute Mastery.